I spent 6 months pretending to be homeless to catch predators targeting street kids. My supervisor called me into her office on a Tuesday morning. We'd been getting reports about someone offering help to runaways downtown, then they'd just vanish. 3 kids in 2 months. Regular cops couldn't get close enough because these kids wouldn't trust anyone official. They'd scatter the moment they saw a badge. "We need someone who can blend in," she said, sliding a manila folder across her desk. "Someone the kids will actually talk to." So I went deep undercover, created a fake backstory about aging out of foster care, getting evicted, losing my job at a warehouse, bought secondhand clothes from Goodwill, roughed them up, stopped showering. The transformation was harder than I expected. December in Chicago is brutal when you're actually sleeping in doorways. I learned to stuff newspaper in my jacket for insulation, how to position cardboard to block wind, which 24-hour diners would let you sit for hours nursing 1 cup of coffee. My fingers went numb. My back ached constantly. The first week was the worst, getting chased away from storefronts by security guards, having my cardboard bed kicked apart by drunk college kids, eating whatever I could find. I lost 15 pounds that first month, but slowly, the street kids started accepting me. There was this crew of 5 teenagers who'd been living rough for months. Maria was 17, ran away from an abusive stepfather. Danny was 15, kicked out for being gay. They had this unwritten code about looking out for each other. They taught me which shelters actually had beds versus which ones just gave you a sandwich and sent you back outside. Where the church on 5th Street left day-old donuts by their dumpster, how to layer clothing to stay warm, which cops would hassle you, and which ones would just keep walking. Maria was suspicious of me at first. "You're too clean," she said, studying my face. "Your teeth are too straight. Nobody ends up here without getting beaten down first." I had to earn their trust over weeks, sharing my food when I had it, watching their backs during the day, helping Danny when some older guys tried to rob him. Eventually, they started treating me like family. After 3 weeks living with them, they mentioned Trevor, this guy in his 40s who'd been helping kids around the area. Free meals at nice restaurants, clean clothes, sometimes a warm place to crash for the night. He seemed generous, but something felt off about it. "He asks too many questions," Danny whispered one night as we huddled around a trash can fire. "Wants to know if you got family looking for you, if anyone knows where you are." Maria nodded grimly. 2 girls went with him last month, said they'd be back the next day. Never saw them again, but nobody's gonna talk to police about it. Finally met Trevor at the downtown soup kitchen on a Thursday evening. Mid-40s, clean-shaven, expensive jacket that he tried to make look casual. Friendly smile, but his eyes lingered too long when he looked at the younger kids. He approached me while I was eating, asked about my story, how long I'd been on the streets, if I had anywhere safe to sleep, offered me $20 and said I could shower at his place if I needed to clean up. "You remind me of my nephew," he said, putting his hand on my shoulder. "Smart kid who just needs a break." The other kids gave me warning looks from across the room. "Don't go alone," their eyes said. I spent 2 more weeks building rapport with Trevor. Met him for coffee, let him buy me meals, listened to his stories about helping homeless youth. He had this way of making you feel special, chosen. I could see how desperate kids would fall for it. He kept pushing for me to come to his apartment, said he had connections that could help me get back on my feet, maybe find work. Each time I made excuses, but stayed interested. Finally, on a Friday night, I couldn't put him off anymore without raising suspicion. I told my backup team I was going in, wore a wire, GPS tracker sewn into my jacket. 3 officers positioned in unmarked cars within 2 blocks. His apartment was set up like a studio. Professional lighting equipment, multiple cameras on tripods, a bed with restraints poorly hidden under a sheet. My stomach dropped when I saw costumes hanging in the closet, child-size costumes. Trevor offered me a drink, some kind of fruity cocktail that I pretended to sip while he explained his photography business. Said I could make real money if I was willing to be flexible about the work. Started showing me photos on his laptop. That's when I saw them. Pictures of Maria's missing friends. "This could be you," he said, reaching for those restraints with one hand while typing something on his computer with the other. I gave the signal by touching my ear twice. Maria, Danny, and the other kids I'd been living with for months watched from across the street. As 6 officers burst through his door, finding evidence of 12 missing kids on his computer and DNA samples that would later solve 4 cold cases. They finally learned that sometimes adults really do want to help.